Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Don't Feed the Animals podcast. I'm your host, as always, James, and with me comes another exciting, introspective thought on where we're at in life. And let me tell you, I love where we live in time. I really do. I'm not anti-modern anything, as on contrary to popular belief. Planes are miracles. Cars are miracles. The little glass rectangle in my pocket is a miracle that would have gotten me burned at the stake in 1723 for showing a highly questionable Instagram filter that shows what I would look like as a cat. We're surrounded by stuff that used to be science fiction, and now it's just Tuesday. And I'm unlike what I normally do, and I'm trying to be better. Every day I'm trying to be better, all the time. I'm not here to knock the gifts. I adore the gifts. But even miracles need maps, infrastructure, if you will. The things that made cars work entirely wasn't just the engine that was in it. It was the seatbelts, stop signs, speed limits. The thing that made the sky safe wasn't just wings. It's air traffic control, actual flight paths, people with headsets making sure metal birds don't play bumper cars in the clouds. We invent, right? And then we add the rules that make the invention livable. Nobody stands at an intersection screaming, "You can't tell me what to do," at a red light. Just let that be known. We just stop. Because it makes sense. Because the guardrail keeps a gift a gift. Let me explain a little bit further. What's weird right now is that we got a brand new pile of miracles. Streams that never end. Feeds that never stop. Pocket buzzards that can reach us anywhere. And the guardrails haven't caught up yet. Or, more honestly, the products were designed without them on purpose. Natural endings are gone. The friction is gone. And when you take the friction out of things that used to come with edges, you don't feel the edges until you're already slid off. And that slide, by the way, I'll probably keep calling it what it is, and it's drift. It doesn't feel dramatic when it's happening. It's not a villain in a cape throwing you off a bridge. It's more like a lazy river you don't realize you stepped into. You sit down to watch one thing, and then 2, 3, 12 later, you look up, it's 3:11 in the morning, and somehow you learned more about raccoons in Wisconsin than you know about your own neighbors. It feels harmless because each step is small. But the cost shows up in a lump. Your sleep, your mood, your Sunday that you were supposed to have. Now, let me be fair here, Drift isn't just like your week. Drift is design. The autoplay gives you 2 seconds to think instead of a beat to breathe. Feeds are bottomless by intent. The casino learned a long time ago. If you remove clocks, you remove the sunset, people forget time exists. The internet learned that too. Are you still watching? Is the closest thing to consensus a lot of those apps have. Most don't even ask. So, where am I coming at? Because again, I'm trying my hardest not to bash where we're at, because I do use all of these things to this day and abuse them. So even these, this is a collective thought that I try to kind of to come up with ways to just enrich. So if the rules aren't baked in, right, with a lot of these things, this is just thoughts that I need to like express. I do feel like sometimes it's a responsibility to write them yourself, and not in a monk throw your phone in a lake type of way, in a make the gift stay a gift way. Friendly warning labels is kind of what I came up with, that feel more like winks than scolds, because I'm not trying to hand you prescription drug voiceover where side effects include death, dizziness, and buying a llama. I'm trying to make you feel better with tiny human rules that make sense. So, let me start off with the one that owns me the most. I'll be fair, because this I need to work on. Notifications. I'll be honest with you, because that's how I talk. I'm a lonely dude sometimes. So when my phone buzzes, my brain does that tiny firework thing. Maybe it's somebody. Maybe it's something. And 9 times out of 10, it's a coupon. It's a random like from like 3 days ago. It's an app asking me to rate my experience. The buzz, let's be honest though, but the buzz notifications, anytime even it's showing itself as an icon, is something that sends something in my mind, because it seems like a unchecked box that I need to check. And meanwhile, whatever I was actually doing, working, reading, and just sitting gets chopped into confetti. Now, this is where I'm kind of going with all of this, because I'm going to help. I'm going to come with a better angle. I hate shaking my fist at that damn cloud, but I love to now kind of embrace this the idea of being better somehow, for yourself, for you. This is all for you, not for anybody else around you. This is strictly something that might feel different. So here, as I say, notifications now, right? In general, this is the mentality that I have, because you have to kind of keep your wits about yourself. It's not a negative way of thinking. It's more like maybe just a way to think about it, right? It's like a salesman at your door. And you do have a door. You don't let anybody in your house. So why are you letting anybody live in your pocket? If a sneaker store manager knocked on your door at dinner every night, 10 ounce, 30% off the new kicks, you'd call the cops. But when your phone does it, we treat it like an emergency beep from NASA. It's insane. So I built a little rule. Tier 1, right? This is, and it's gonna take time. This is literally like deleting emails. So if you take it like that, where it's just one activity of setting it up, then when you do it, you feel a lot better. Let's just be real. So tier 1, this is the stuff that you have to think of it as far as notifications. Actual lifelines. Mom, dad, family, the 2 friends I would pick up, for anything at 2 a.m. That's your tier 1. Those people, they stay always notifying you. And you got tier 2 is people I actually want to hear from today. So the people who are directly into your life, so that that fun gaming group, the girls that you share, recipes with, the people who have, a fun like-minded thing. Those that's okay to get notifications for that, and because for the most part it's a friendly thing, like a nice group chat. Then tier 0 is everything trying to sell me socks. That gets silenced, not because I hate socks, because I like peace. And yeah, even with that, you still feel a phantom buzz sometimes. Sometimes my leg will angle a certain way and all of a sudden it twitches and I'm like, is that my phone vibrating or my leg? And that's the lonely brain thing that I do. But when I know the only things getting through to me are the ones that I actually choose, I stop twitching every 3 minutes. I become a person instead of a doorman with 1,000 tiny little knocks. That's the guardrail. That's what that does. It puts me back in the room I am already sitting in. Moving on, autoplay is the same flavor of problem with different costume. See, the thing about autoplay, and I'm talking about like with any streaming service, especially you fuck TikTok, Instagram, anything that you scroll your reels through, and I know we all do it because I still do it. I'm doing this podcast and I still do it. But hopefully in doing this podcast and putting my time, energy, and effort into something special, it might shift things a little. But it kills beginnings and endings. That's one thing about autoplay. It kind of comes and goes. The moment of, do I want this, disappears. And with it, the moment of, that was good, I'm done. So the night never feels like it happened. Because where did it start? Where did it end? I don't think the answer is just have willpower, because I know I don't. If you had a bag of chips, the answer isn't only eat 2 chips. That's not how chips work. That's not how the brain works. So give yourself a real off-ramp. Not a heroic one. A dumb, sturdy one. I'll put a sticky note, right, on the remote that says this. And maybe put it in your background just for now until you get into the habit of it. Did you click this? What the sticky note should say, or the background of your phone should say. Or did the app click it for you? Now hear me out. It sounds silly. It is silly. It breaks the dream. My other move is a kitchen timer, 15 minutes, ding. If I tap snooze, I have to say it out loud. I choose Idaho. It's a joke with myself, but it works. Because basically, I'm calling out the drift and turning it into a choice again. Basically, what I'm getting at is choosing is the point. The moment you make a choice again, you're out of the river. And one other embodying thing that will pretty much put this all together. Look at me. Look, and coincidentally enough, I'm glad that happened in real time, and I'm glad, guys, that I've changed my format of my podcast where I leave in this nonsense. But the notifications that I got right now sent myself into a excitement because I thought it was something important, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It was definitely letting me know that I had good sleep, but that's because I have a health app. But that's totally different, half marathon bullshit. But with that being said, I'll fix that right now and put on Do Not Disturb. Yeah. Yes. See, that is. Again, I felt like this whole podcast got derailed by a notification. See what I'm saying? And that's, I'm not the only one who has this urge to check all the time. The only times, obviously when I'm glad I can hold on to real moments and things that are fun, because then I don't let it, derail me. So the last thing I want to touch on is swiping. And I'm not just talking dating apps. I'm talking with everything. Shoot, music, shopping. The algorithm that keeps whispering, maybe the next one is better. Think about that for a second. Let that sit. That is what we subconsciously do when we endlessly swipe. We say to ourselves, we give this self-centered expectation, maybe the next one is better. And that whisper seems like optimism, but it behaves like addiction. If there's always a better, the thing in your hand never gets a chance to be enough. It's not just that we don't choose it. It's that when we finally do, we don't value the choice. We sit with a perfectly good song and skip at the 2-minute mark because the ghost of maybe taps on our shoulder. We meet a perfectly good person and treat them like a pre-roll ad because somewhere out there might be a better somebody with slightly more symmetrical eyebrows. We put things in our cart and abandon them because the next tab is promising same-day delivery and a micro discount. Infinite aisles create zero homes. So, I gave myself scarcity on purpose. That's the trick, right? If the world removes scarcity, you add it back. I do a pick window for certain stuff. Friday night is for browsing, not Tuesday at 2:11 in the morning. When Friday comes, I'll let that window open. I'll look, I'll pick, and I'll live in it. Dating apps, 3 swipes, then decide. Spotify, 3 skips, then ride the song. Shopping, if it's not worth remembering by Friday, it wasn't worth buying by Tuesday at 2:11 in the morning. These are little baby rules, but baby rules have grown nights. Sorry guys, I woke up a little stuffy today, so you're getting the sniffly, stuffy boy voice. But I bring you all the great, and if you've been liking it so far, please reach out. Send me another like, comment. Just let me know what you've been thinking. Share. Oh my goodness. You don't understand in the infancy of this podcast, the amount of I will probably have you on a guest if you have something to say is through the roof. So get me to a point where I can start sharing your stories and kind of taking in all the other angles. This is one angle. It's one angle that I'm trying to be better. But anyway, for funsies, let me write you some fake warning labels while I'm here. Because if the apps don't do it, I will. All right, ready? I'm going to try my best. I guess those pharmaceutical company voices. But maybe I'll slow it down so you actually hear what I say. So, here we go. Autoplay may cause unexpected time travel from 2:48 a.m., mild guilt, and crumbs everywhere. Notifications may cause a Pavlovian twitching and reoccurring belief that your life is a group chat. Excessive swiping may cause permanent maybe syndrome, where nothing is enough, and your thumb has the strongest core in the family. Leaving do not disturb off may cause your inner peace to be repressed by a pizza coupon. Using your phone in bed may cause you to wake up with your phone on your face and a vague sense of you owe somebody an apology. We laugh, but it's medicine. Humor is the truth with a better outfit. The little labels make an invisible, visible. The hidden cost, if you will. And once you can see it, you can steer it. That's all I'm trying to do here. Hand you guys back the steering wheel in places where it drifts, pretends you don't need one. Now, I don't want to make it sound like guardrails turn life into homework. It's the opposite. Life gets lighter. You know the feeling after your phone stays quiet for an hour and you realize your brain finally exhaled? That feeling after you watch one episode, the credits roll, you stand up because the night had an ending? That. You know the feeling when you stop searching and actually listening to the song that you picked, and somewhere at 2:14 there's a tiny bass line you never heard because you've never stayed long enough? That. These aren't punishments. They're ways to get the good parts back, because the gifts are real. The miracles are real. I like living now. I like that if I suddenly decide I'm an ocean person at 3 a.m., there's a documentary waiting for me about octopus brains. And I can learn that they open jars like tiny little water lizards. I like my mom can caption a show the exact way she wants to watch it tomorrow. Absolutely. I like that I can send a voice note to a friend and they hear me laugh instead of guessing through text. I like that we can connect like this right now. And I don't want to go backwards. I don't think backwards is where meaning lives. I think meaning lives where freedom meets form, where the gift has shape to sit in. So here's what a week looks like with shape. Morning isn't a slot machine. You don't roll over and pull a lever and see if the world loves you yet. Your phone is quiet until the time you set. And when it does buzz, it's because someone you choose is allowed to reach you. Your work stretches into longer lines instead of 10,000 dots. You finish things and you feel that old satisfaction you got had a taste. Lunch actually tastes like lunch because you weren't doom reacting to the whole sandwich. And then in the evening, you pick something, you watch it, and you let the credits be the period to the end of the sentence. You go to bed on purpose. This is not mountaintop monk life. This is Tuesday with a spine. And because I'm me, and because I always want to be honest about the parts that aren't pretty, the lonely brain still makes up stories. It still tells me that every buzz is maybe someone finally seeing me, wanting me, needing me. That's human. But when the guardrails are up, I can see that float by without letting it drive. I can stay cool story and go back to whatever I was actually doing. And when a real text does land from someone I love, I feel 10 times more because I didn't arrive in a hailstorm of shoe coupons. That's the trade. Less noise, more signal, less maybe, more this. If the last episode was about lost rituals, the structure we had without realizing it, this one is about writing new ones on purpose. Not because tech is evil, not because the past was pure, but because the present can be better when we add a little friction in our own hands. Freedom isn't absence of all limits, it's the presence of the right ones. Planes with maps, cars with lights, phones with doors. So I'll leave you all with this. And I mean this as a dare, not a lecture. Pick one guardrail this week. 1. Turn 3 categories of notifications off. and see what happens to your shoulders. Put a sticky note on the remote that says, don't. Did I click this? Or did the app click it for me? And then give yourself a Friday window to browse and make Tuesdays sacred again. 3 swipes, then decide. 3 skips, then ride. Make the rule dumb, doable, and yours. Then notice how your life feels with a few more edges back into it. We're not waiting for someone else to write the warning labels. We write them ourselves because the miracles are real and they deserve to be treated like miracles, not drift, not default, not a lazy river you wake up downstream from. We choose the river. We choose the stops. We choose the shore. And that's the whole thing. Freedom inside boundaries. And if you try it, tell me if you don't feel more alive when the credits roll than you do after an hour of just one more. I'll be here. Phone a little quieter. Night a little cleaner. Not perfect. Chosen.
Signs all around. We talk a lot of junk, yeah, you vibing with us now. Build something from the ground up, yeah, we like to clown. Talk about some real stuff, yeah, something profound. It's a pleasure that you're hearing us, wouldn't mess around. It's a topic of discussion worth talking that we bust and put a nail in the coffin. If you love it, then you love it. If you don't mean nothing, still bring it to the public. Y'all, don't be the animals, put them in a cage, they couldn't handle truth. We gonna bust out the gate like some cannibals. Same face, same channel, messing with the tune. A bunch of idiots stuck in one room, can't take us serious. You love what we feeding you, I'm with the show, yeah, proceed with the interview. Local celebrity, snatch a toy from your cereal.